Mabuhay, Kamustika, welcome, how are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. Are Westerners approaching relationships wrong with Filipinas? I could also call this the Aiza and JBUD exchange. Who was right? I hope you didn't miss that live stream. The most recent live stream drew a reaction from the enigmatic Mr. E, who has shared his thoughts before, but I haven't heard from him in a while. The Aiza and JBUD 5000 exchanged at the 1 hour 37 mark, and I can link that in the comments so you can see it. It was a good one that he managed to keep his composure throughout. Much credit to him for that. Today we're going to revisit commitment. Subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea, where I like to encourage guys to commit to a Filipina who can be a great wife. You may have something to say about this, so just please leave a comment afterwards, and don't forget about getting notifications. Now, here's Mr. E's comment. Around the 1 hour 37 minute to 1 hour 50 minute-ish mark from the last live stream, that was September 2nd, 2019, Aiza and JBUD were having an exchange regarding why Western men won't marry and about commitment. Aiza questioned why JBUD and Western men in general refuse to take action and commit. I felt compelled after a long absence to write into Love Beyond the Sea, this is his words, as I feel the need to bring up something most people in the audience, and maybe even Bob and Aiza themselves, missed. While Bob and many of the male audience members understand why Western men are so risk-averse committing to women, no-fault divorce, disrespect towards men, etc., what isn't talked about is how it got this way. To make a long story short, he says both Aiza and JBUD are right. They're both right. Something hit me during this exchange that I thought I should share, as I feel the message went over the head of many of the audience. This exchange put something into words that I have struggled with the past little while. One could even make a video about it called Are Westerners Approaching Relationships Wrong? Which I did. Truth is yes. What Aiza is describing and what JBUD are describing are two different things. Aiza is describing courtship. JBUD is describing dating. There's a difference between dating and courtship. As Westerners, we often equate these things as the same. However, both dating and courtship are not mutually exclusive. They are two different things. He says, I have noticed something very peculiar in my exile, and that is the longer you draw out a relationship without making a decision to get serious, i.e. marry, the more likely the relationship will fail. So, for men who date a woman 5+ years and generally take their time, in their eyes, are more likely to divorce or have the relationship fail. Whereas men like you, he said, and he's talking about me, who committed very fast and rushed to the altar from contemporary Western wisdom, are more likely to be successful. In our case, it only took 54 days to get married. I find it interesting that this phenomenon is the case, and this observation I made keeps reoccurring and being strengthened as time goes on, as I find couples who have married in this fashion. He continues, you're probably wondering how that can be. Well, like I said above, it has a lot to do with dating mindset versus courtship mindset. What has happened is that for us Westerners, somewhere along the way, the wisdom of courtship and dating somehow got mixed together. Originally, dating was something you only did as a fling or for fun, and generally you weren't serious or looking for marriage. Whereas courtship's purpose was marriage and family formation, generally with both families involved in giving their blessing. As a result, a decision was made rather quickly, under 1 year, whether the couple in question were a good match. Generally, asking for the blessings of parents or even getting families involved in relationships is considered alien in modern dating. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is the process of courtship, which Aiza is describing, is a different mindset and process than that of dating, what JBUD is describing. With courtship, your mindset is marriage and forming a family from the get-go, whereas dating is more fun activity without commitment or any sort of attachment. So, when Aiza or any woman asks, why won't men commit? The answer to her question is because of the breakdown and corruption of the courtship process. We Western men equate dating and courtship as the same, thus we get bad results. Men rightly feeling jaded and blame the process since we don't have knowledge from our elders or know any better. More importantly, a bigger problem both sides have is a lack of calibrated filtering in determining each other's intentions, and this leads to both parties feeling miserable with each other. So on a macro level, Western men feel betrayed with the lack of guarantee of marital bliss in forming a functional family household, and women get jaded by getting pumped and dumped and not receiving commitment. Truthfully, both are guilty, he says, but women aren't giving any reason for any man to commit to them, as the good woman isn't showing the man why she is different from the rest, both through her actions and intent. It is automatically assumed in her eyes. Truthfulness, which Aiza brought up, must be demonstrated. It is not enough just to say that you are truthful. So when JBUD said, I'm hesitant about marriage, that's why I want girlfriends, this is what he is actually saying, that the women he has interacted with so far aren't worth the committing to, aka the juice isn't worth the squeeze. But simply, unconsciously, men are now asking women, what's in it for me? And women are failing at answering this question as they are not demonstrating what they are offering effectively. This leads to miserable people all around due to having different ideas of the courtship process, as the knowledge has been lost in each other's intentions. So my advice for any sincere Filipinas, he says, or any other women that listens to this, is to actively show how they are different from other women through actions as well as words, and demonstrate concretely how they can add value to their prospective husband's partner's life and make them want to commit. Do not assume the man will automatically commit in this day and age, as many women have ruined that privilege for you. In short, the question a Filipina should be asking is, how am I an asset to this man's life? For marriage-minded men, he says, my advice is to return to what courtship used to be in its most basic form, a pseudo job interview or audition on your prospective wife, and ask the right questions and qualify her. The most important qualifier you must find out is if your prospective wife values family over career, or career over family. If she values career more than you or her family, you are on a path for divorce. One other thing that tilts the odds in your favor is faith, but some in the audience might not agree. My parting knowledge to all of you is to treat marriage like a business and not a hobby. End of quote. So that's a very long comment. Don't forget you can leave comments here as well. Now this is me. It may not sound romantic, but I tend to agree with Mr. E to treat marriage like a business and not like a hobby, and that includes the process of getting to know each other as well as the married life. I have mentioned before in my videos that Filipinas want to get married. They're willing to marry sooner than later to the right guy, but they aren't sure why the men aren't as aggressive or willing as they expected them to be. Factoring in a very long distance relationship where the Filipina assumes you are seriously looking for a wife, I think it is okay to use the fast lane in this case. He mentioned committing very fast as perhaps being more successful in their relationship as opposed to dating someone for 5+ years. I will delve into that in an upcoming video. For now, please let me know your thoughts about commitment factors and if dating courtship is somehow getting mixed together. Let me know if you have heard of others marrying quicker than normal and how that worked out. In our case, our view of the purpose of meeting a Filipina were the same back when I started flipping through profiles to find my love beyond the sea.